If you remember previously, we talked about that white F-250 that the customer shut down on him, and we showed you the fuel sample and the intercooler pipe. Well, today I'm showing you the actual injection pump that came out of that truck. So, and the reason why I have two of them torn down, and by the way, this is a CP4 injection pump. This is a 2020 pump. This is a 2017 pump. I want to show you a couple differences. This one was contaminated with DEF. This one actually had very clean fuel and it just failed, okay? The reason why I'm doing this video is I get asked all the time, you know, are the new Fords better than the old Fords? Is the pump the same? Am I gonna have the same problems? Well, I hate to tell you, but yes, they've made some changes, but it's obviously not fixing it because I got another one that's busted. So a lot of people said, well, he probably has contamination, he probably has this, he probably has that. Well, I'm gonna show you also, you look right here, this is the driver's side fuel rail. What I'm gonna show you is a pressure control valve. So this pressure control valve is the one that came out of this truck. It's spotless. So there was no contamination in this truck. Another thing I want to talk about this, a lot of people think just because you have a new truck, you have a warranty. You do have a warranty, but if you bring your truck to Ford and they pull this little sensor out right here and it's got rust on this surface, you no longer have a warranty. You're responsible for whatever happened here. And the reason why is because it's a rustable part. So whenever it gets water on it, it's gonna rust. So as soon as they pull it out and it's rusted, it's your bill, it's not theirs. So that's their way to catch you. And most will say, well, the truck's got a water separator, why doesn't it show whenever the truck's got too much water content? It does work, it's too late. You know, by the time that light comes on, you've already got water in your rail up top, so it's too late. So that part is gonna rust. So that's something to think about. I'm gonna tell you how to prevent all this. Just give me a little time. We tore this one apart, and what we found here is we found scoring on the pistons. Now, if you look at the older one, it's all one piece. I had to beat these out of the housing. So one difference that you'll notice, these two Torx head bolts in the later model pump and the earlier model pump doesn't have it. These are pinned. So basically they can only slide up and down, they can't twist. Well, that was an early model issue that they had. These would twist sideways and then this cam lobe would eat this up and that would kill it. Well, in this instance, these were still pinned. There was no issue with that. And it ate this lobe up. If you look close right there, it got ate up. So these weren't twisted. So the guys out there saying that, oh, I got a pin pump, it's not gonna have an issue, that's not true. It's still eating itself up. The real fix for this whole situation right here, no matter if you have an 11 model truck or a 2024 truck, is this pump right here. It's a DCR. It's a collaboration between S&S and Pure Power, which is backed by Stand-On. It's a more robust pump. It's got better internals. It's just an all-around better pump. And to my knowledge, when they fail, they don't shred metal and destroy the whole fuel system like these do. I think it's a worthwhile upgrade. Definitely worth spending the money on the pump. These pumps, they go for about $2,000. Plus you're looking about 7 hours plus, you know, vacuum pump gasket and some other little incidental things, but that'll save your whole fuel system. So you're going to spend $3 to $4,000 on this pump installed, or you're going to spend 10 plus grand on a whole fuel system. You choose. Another thing you could do just to help, and I'm not saying it's going to fix it, is to run fuel additives. That will help because what lubricates everything inside this pump is fuel. There's no motor oil in it. So if you're running bad fuel or you're running standard fuel out the pump's no good no more. You got ultra low sulfur diesel, so that means it doesn't have the additives in it to lubricate these pumps properly. We recommend XPD. You can use anything you want. I'm not going to tell you what you're using is bad, but use something if you're going to not swap over to the DCR. Next thing you're probably thinking is, I got the disaster kit on my truck. Well, that's cool. You see this meter and valve right here? See how it's full of metal and everything? So when that thing gets clogged up, typically that'll kill the truck along with the metal getting throughout the system. Well, what happens whenever you have a disaster kit is a disaster kit actually prevents this from getting metal on it, and the truck will continue to run. And I know this for a fact because I have a 13 model F550 service truck that it happened to. It kept losing power and shutting down. We couldn't figure it out because typically when the pump goes bad, they just go bad. You don't have many warnings. Well, we had a disaster kit on that truck, and what we found is the truck literally ran until the pump split in half. And we were lucky. It worked. It did work. We put another pump on there and we didn't have any issues. That truck's still running today, but I'm gonna tell you what can happen. If this pump continues to run and it locks up, your crank gear on all 6.7s is pressed on. It's not welded on. It has no keyway. It has nothing. So if this thing locks up and it's fed by the cam gear, which is fed by the crank gear, and it spins it, guess what? Now you're gonna need a motor. So the best bet, if you got the extra funds and you want your truck to last and you don't want to come out of pocket huge money, start with putting this pump on your truck before you do anything else. I guarantee you it saves you a bunch of money in the long run because with these things, it's not if, it's when.